Bienvenidos a la Junta de Supervisores. Welcome to the Board of Supervisors en español. We want our Spanish-speaking residents to have more access to county government in their own language, and Spanish live translation can make that possible in person and remotely. Un grupo de intérpretes están en vivo en la reunión de la Junta de Supervisores traduciendo simultáneamente. Usted puede ver, escuchar y participar en persona o por internet de esta reunión los martes. For those who come in person and want to listen in, headsets are available at the Clerk of the Board reception. Aquellos que vienen y desean escuchar la reunión, tenemos disponibles audífonos en el vestíbulo de la oficina del secretario de la Junta. And for those who want to tune in, a Spanish live stream is available on RivCo.org. Aquellos que desean sintonizarnos pueden hacerlo a través del portal RivCo.org. Los intérpretes también están listos para traducir cualquier comentario del público en el podio o por teléfono. Interpreters are available and ready to translate any comments from the public at the podium or via phone. Board meeting agendas and minutes are published in Spanish on RivCo.org. Las agendas y minutos de la reunión de la Junta de Supervisores son publicadas en español en RivCo.org. Queremos saber de usted y que se entere de todo lo que pasa en el gobierno del condado de Riverside en su propio idioma. We want your participation in Riverside County Government.
We have all different times. That clock says it's after 9:30. We have 9:28 here. Verizon says it's 9:30, so we'll begin. We're 2 minutes off here. So welcome to the Riverside County Board of Supervisors meeting. We have done roll call. All 5 supervisors are present. We begin our meetings with an invocation. And I would like to have Brent Sherrick, volunteer chaplain, Riverside County Fire Department, to lead us in an invocation, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance, and one of our great RCIT team members, Jacob's going to lead us in the pledge.
Would you please bow your heads with me? Father, we just come before thee and we thank you for this day. Lord, we thank you that we're able to be here today, to be in this building, to be in your presence, and to just be able to enjoy some cooler weather. And Lord, I would ask, as proceedings go on here today, that you would be with those that are bringing their petitions forward, whatever they may be, Lord, that they would bring them with clarity, with discernment and wisdom, and know how to present them to the board, Lord, in a manner that is respectful and honoring those that are sitting here on this board, Lord. And Lord, for the board, I'd ask that you would give them wisdom, discernment in making decisions, Lord, even if it means putting it off for another time. Let that be what needs to be done. But give them what they need to be able to do this. So we thank you for that, and we thank you for this day. And we ask for your guidance and direction. In your Son's name, amen.
Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have a couple of presentations this morning. The first one will be done by Supervisor Perez for Social Worker Appreciation Month.
Madam Chair, I'm going to ask all of you colleagues to come up and join me up in the front. Thank you. What an exciting month, ladies and gentlemen. And the fact that it's also Social Worker Appreciation Month means quite a bit. I just want to say that, you know, being a social worker, I don't know how you do it. It's hard work. And I'm always impressed by the work you do. And I really appreciate the work that you've done. And I'm going to ask my colleagues also to say a few words, but I wanted to just make sure that we acknowledge a few social workers. And that's Charity Douglas, who's the director of DPSS, as well as Rafael Angulo, in home supportive services, who's been around for 2.5 years now been with us for 2.5 years. Isis Oliveros Zambrano, Adult Protective Services for 7 years. And John San Juan, Children and Family Services, 2 years of service. And if you don't mind, before I ask you all to come up, just very quickly, some time ago when I was studying, I was actually at the School of Social Welfare at Berkeley. And that's where I learned, obviously, quite a bit of the principles that were very important to what you follow to this day, also known as the Code of Ethics. Whether it's to enhance human well-being, obviously to work to ensure that basic human needs are met, especially for the most vulnerable, to ensure that folks are empowered, consistently promoting social justice and social change for the betterment of our communities, being sensitive to cultural and ethnic diversity, striving to end discrimination, oppression, poverty, and other forms of social injustice, and as well enhance the capacity of people so that they can address their own needs and so that they can become productive members of society. Unfortunately, I never finished my PhD, but I will say, though, I did appreciate the teachings, the learnings that I received there at Cal. As a matter of fact, I had a young family at the time, and the reason, I'll be very honest with you, the reason why is because we were a very young family, and we were living from apartment to apartment. I had financial aid and surviving as much as I possibly could with my family, and had jobs, whether working at U-Haul, working at night and teaching, whatever it took, even putting prints together, whatever it took to make sure we got by. And at the time, our son Ruben, the oldest, was actually going to daycare. That's how long ago this was, but nonetheless, though, folks, I still remember those days. And so I'm going to ask Charity and everyone else to come up. And with that being said, I'm also going to ask my colleagues in case they want to say a few words. And just very quickly, we'll just come up. How about a round of applause, please?
Oh, it's a lot. Oh, wow. Very nice to meet you.
Oh, crew.
Very nice to meet you as well. Yeah, thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I think that's like graduation, high school graduation. Good morning. Very nice to meet you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Is this the same group? Wait. No, okay, you got it. Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to say from the 5th District, thank you for your hard work as social workers. As Supervisor Perez mentioned, this is Social Worker Appreciation Month, and you guys really do above and beyond work addressing the most vulnerable folks in our county. in helping those, whether from infants, toddlers, children, to even adults as well. Social workers help everyone, especially during their time in need. My personal story is with my mom, and how even the county of Riverside was able to assist her when she had her disability, and you guys just step up and do what you can. I also know from many different people that have emailed our office, and how all of you from all the different departments really go above and beyond and trying to find resources for folks and people. So just wanted to appreciate you as well, and I'll pass it along now to District 1.
Thank you, Supervisor. I also want to congratulate and thank all the county social workers, as well as all the social workers in the state of California. I'm reminded of the values of social workers as Supervisor Perez outlined them. And it reminds me why of all the different questionnaires that we get in front of us when we run for various public office. It's the social worker questionnaire that I most enjoy filling out. And every single question that I answered in that questionnaire reflected my own values. So I know that our values align very much. The work that you do is so valuable, but sometimes not recognized. So I'm very happy that we are here today to recognize and thank all the social workers for the work they do every day in this month of the social worker. I'll pass it on.
Well, I wasn't an airline pilot. I wasn't a teacher. And most people don't know my background. But I was in the world of social work. A little bit on the outskirts, but definitely in. I worked with at-risk youth, 13 to 18-year-old boys, in and out of juvenile hall, in the court system, wards of the court. So I get it. I was an MFT. I almost got my PhD, but I was parent having daughters or something like that. How life gets in the way. So, but it's been a decade, and probably even more so since after, maybe not directly, but you know, social work is about people. And I thank you, because some people aren't easy to work with. And you don't get to pick and choose, do you? You're sent to do a job. You don't get to pick who you work with. You can't walk up, oh, never mind, I want you. But it's hard work. I know that. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that each and one of you step up and continue every day going out to help, to find resources, to do what you can to help our residents in Riverside County. So that's what this is about. It's about you, and thanking you and telling you how much we appreciate the hard work that you do on behalf of all of us. So thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well said. I never even attempted a PhD, so the rest of you, very smart people. I spent, while I was flying as my day job, I spent 15 years as a council member in Murrieta and then in Temecula. I didn't know anything about public social service. I didn't know anything about social workers. And now I've been here for over a decade at the county, and I've come to learn and appreciate the good work that you do. It's done quietly. Most people don't know much about the work that you do other than perhaps what they see in a TV show, right? You don't wear a badge, you don't wear a uniform, and yet oftentimes I think even here the five of us have recognized from the dais that the work that you do holds the fabric of our society together. It is often preventing something more tragic from happening. And that's the value of the work that you do and why we appreciate you so much. I'm told that we have over 1,400 social workers throughout the county. So even though this seems like a lot, it's just a little cup of the big bucket, right? And again, that work should be appreciated and is appreciated by all of us. And when I have an opportunity and I go to my cities, I often mention we are pulling together all of our departments to work to improve the quality of life for all of our residents. And that means social workers, means probation, law enforcement, other departments. I'm here with our executive director of First Five. I have the pleasure of chairing the First Five Commission. Everybody working together, but we depend on you. So thank you for all the good work you do.
Thank you, colleagues. And if I can ask Chastity come up. Hey, Chastity, how are you? Say a few words.
Yes. Good morning. Thank you, Board of Supervisors, for your support, along with my peers from First Five, Office on Aging, Public Health, the Medical Center, and the Public Defender's Office. As Supervisor Washington stated, we have over 1,400 social workers across the county, and we are privileged and honored to work beside you. You put your heart into action each and every day. And I couldn't be more proud to work here in Riverside. And I just thank you. Like Supervisor Spiegel said, I know that the work is not easy and you don't always get recognized. But hear from our hearts today that we really do appreciate you. And it is a privilege to serve with you and serve beside you. Thank you.
And with that, Chastity, we're going to present you a proclamation on behalf of Social Worker Appreciation Month. This is for you and the entire team. Okay.
You're going to be all right in the front?
So, board members up top. Two lines, everybody. So just one line.
Have a couple more social workers. They were humble. They didn't come up.
Two rows.
So there were more.
Everyone see the camera?
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
As they're sitting, we normally do an introduction before. Because the video, is there a video? Oh, social workers. Oh, we're almost there.
Every day, Riverside County social workers help protect the safety and well-being of our most vulnerable. They are on the front lines, preventing abuse and neglect. They reunify families and help children find safe, loving homes through foster care and adoption. They connect individuals and families with resources, help the unhoused find housing, and connect seniors and dependent adults with in-home caregivers who help them live safely and independently in their own homes. They exemplify the 2026 theme for Social Work Month. Social work, uplift, defend, and transform. To the more than 1,400 social workers who are changing lives in Riverside County, thank you.
Every meeting we have a visitor. One of our most important but in the front lines in Riverside County is our animal services. And so we're asking everybody to help with our shelters. So we have an attendee today that was so, did you know there was a dog sitting down here this entire time? He was pretty good.
Hi, good morning. My name is Chelsea Godfrey. I'm a new public information specialist with the Animal Services Department. I have the honor of introducing you to Dylan today. Dylan is a 1-year-old Belgian Malinois. He's been with our shelter for just about a month, and he's the best boy. He was so great in the car on the drive over. He's so well-tempered. I can tell he has some energy. He was chewing on his vest and rolling around on the floor while we were waiting to come up, but he's really so sweet. And Dylan is just one of our many, many deserving pets at our shelters. Right now, our shelters are full, so please, if you're interested and willing to adopt, come check out any of our deserving pets. Our adoptions are free, and they do include spare neuter, they include vaccines, microchipping, and even an engraved name tag. So Dylan here is at our Riverside shelter. And if you are interested in him, I'm gonna hang out outside. I'm gonna let him get some energy out, but I will be here for about 30 minutes to an hour, but he is at our Riverside shelter if you wanna come see him there too. Thank you.
So our next presentation is actually for the month of April. But we need a head start on getting going because it's Innovation Month. Suzanne, are you going to come join me? Anybody else with your team? This is something that's been very exciting for me within the county, and Susan keeps taking it to the next level. So instead of me reading a whole proclamation to make you go to sleep, I'm going to have her share because it's coming from her heart.
Thank you, Supervisor. Well, April is Innovation Month here in Riverside County, and we are in our 9th year. And it is simple. The goal of Innovation Month is simple, but it is powerful. How do we do this? We support our entrepreneurs. We showcase and elevate our startups, and we highlight that Riverside County is an ecosystem of innovation. Could I show the video?
Riverside County is proud to once again partner with Startup World Cup as part of the 9th annual Riverside County Innovation Month, an initiative made possible through collaboration with our regional colleges and universities, cities throughout the county, private industry, and other key community partners. This collective effort connects local entrepreneurs to global opportunity through regional fast-pitch competitions held across Riverside County. Participants present their product or established business idea and compete for cash prizes, with regional winners advancing to the Riverside County finale. The finale winner earns the opportunity to represent Riverside County at the Startup World Cup Global Finale and compete for a $1 million investment prize. Join us this Innovation Month and see how Riverside County is empowering the next generation of entrepreneurs. The path from local pitch to global stage starts here, and we look forward to seeing what you will bring to it.
As you can see, a central component of Innovation Month is our regional fast pitch competitions. With 5 competitions set regionally, startup companies can present their ideas to investors, business leaders, and community partners for a chance at cash prizes. The top 2 of each regional competition will advance to the countywide finale set for April 29th, with the first place winner advancing to represent Riverside County on the global stage at the Startup World Cup, where they will compete for a $1 million investment prize and exposure. Today we have Ankit Malhotra, the Technology Operations and Leader at Glide, the 2025 Riverside County Fast Pitch winner. The company is advancing mobility innovation and autonomous road-to-rail logistics right here in Riverside County. Could you show the video, please?
In Riverside County, innovation is accelerating the future of logistics and advanced mobility. One company helping lead that transformation is Glide. Glide is building the world's first autonomous road-to-rail logistics platform, designed to synchronize freight movement across ports, railroads, and industrial parks through a mobility-as-a-service model. Founded by retired dual military veteran engineer and former SpaceX leader Kevin DeMoa, the company is redefining first-mile automation by converting underutilized rail infrastructure into an on-demand, electrified logistics network. Its growing ecosystem includes Glider M, a hybrid electric dual-mode vehicle entering pilot deployment, Raiden, a dual-use autonomous platform for defense and industrial logistics, and Ezra 16, an AI-powered control system that orchestrates vehicle operations and workforce management. Glide is also a standout success story in Riverside County's innovation pipeline. The company won the 2025 Innovation Month pitch finale and went on to compete on the global stage at the Startup World Cup in October 2025 for a $1 million equity investment opportunity. With strong industry partnerships and momentum toward large-scale deployment in 2026, Glide exemplifies how bold startups are choosing Riverside County to launch, scale, and lead the future of autonomous logistics.
Isn't that fantastic? Can we get a round of applause for Glide? So we're just excited that you're here, and thank you to you and Kevin for all that you're doing in the autonomous world, in our innovation for logistics. And Glide is just one of the success stories here in Riverside County. So Innovation Month is a success. It continues to position the County of Riverside as a competitive hub for economic growth and innovation in the region, in our state, and of course throughout the country. So to learn more about the entire workshops, lineups, events for the entire month of April, please visit rivcoinnovation.org. And thank you, supervisors, for your support of our innovation ecosystem. Thank you.
Suzanne Holland is our Director of the Office of Economic Development. Oh, do you know something we don't know?
No, I don't. I'm just cheering you on.
So when we have our list of commemorative days and weeks and months, I do want one special one that I want to just briefly acknowledge right now, and that is Vietnam Veterans Day, which commemorates the sacrifices of Vietnam veterans and their families as part of a national effort to recognize the men and women who were denied a proper welcome home, returning home more than 40 years ago. The Vietnam War Veterans Recognition Act, signed into law in 2017, designated March 29th of each year as National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Most states celebrate Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day on March 29th or 30th of each year. Though there is some debate, March 29th is generally viewed as a more appropriate date. On that day in 1973, the last combat troops were withdrawn from Vietnam, and the last prisoners were held in North Vietnam arrived on American soil. It is also the date that President Nixon chose for the first Vietnam Veterans Day in 1974. California Assembly Bill 1775 designates March 30th for California of each year to be Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day. So I'm hoping that we do some recognition and at least welcoming home our Vietnam veterans, either March 29th, 30th, the whole weekend. And I know that there's one event in Corona on Sunday, on the 29th, That is at their American Legion Hall from noon to 3 if you'd like to join. That is post 742. And I'm sure there's other posts that are having recognitions and welcoming home ceremonies. So I do hope that we take a moment and thank those veterans who served us at the Vietnam War. With that, we will move on to Clerk of the Board update.
There are no additions, deletions, corrections, or notations, and we have speakers signed up for public comment and item 3.46.
Wow. Okay. Do any of my colleagues have anything that they'd like to pull?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Thank you. I'd like to pull item 3.8. And then as far as 3.21 and 13.3, I'd like to recuse myself.
What were those again?
Okay, so 3.8 is the item I'd like to pull. And then I'm going to have to recuse myself from 3.21 and 13.3.
Okay, does anybody else have anything? Supervisor Medina? Okay. Sorry, guys, I do have two items. I do want to pull 2.3 and 3.8. Oh, Supervisor President, 3.8, okay. But 2.3. Okay. With that being said, we will...
And so just for clarity, legal counsel, as far as 3.21 and 13.3, is that a separate vote or how is that going to work?
These are consent items. I think the record can reflect that you have recused yourself without leaving the dais, so no need for separate vote.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, and that passes 5-0. So we'll just begin with 2.3. And I just pulled that as a reminder that, for those who don't know, is the Palo Verde Healthcare District Board is the governing board over the hospital out in Palo Verde area. And we, as a county, and you with the residents, we stepped in to help support. They are the only hospital. They were getting ready to close. They have a lot of challenges. And I just wanted to express my concern on this individual. I don't know her, but I just want to know that she understands the importance. I'm sure she's not here, right? Yeah. The importance of the role she plays, and I just want to make sure that she understands that. That was it. Supervisor Washington.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since we have pulled the item and are discussing it, I just want to give a shout out to Supervisor Perez for his leadership. The Palo Verde Health Care District is in his district, and he has been very assertive in bringing to the board's attention the great need for healthcare services to be provided. And I also want to give a shout out to our RUHS team, strike team, that's doing outstanding work, providing much needed emergency healthcare services in the Palo Verde area.
Madam Chair?
Yes, I'm sorry, I
If
can't
I
get my
may,
screen.
I wasn't planning on speaking on this, but I guess I will now. Look, obviously, and I appreciate the kudos by my colleagues, but honestly, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that came and did what they could to help support and get us this far. Whether that be RUHS and staff, whether that be our executive team, specifically including Jeff Van Wagenen, who actually drove out there on various occasions, Michelle DeArmond, who I've had the opportunity to meet out there as well a few times. Obviously, my colleagues, who were very supportive at the end of the day to make sure that we received the funding necessary and for us to ensure that we received as well from the state level the loan that was necessary to keep that hospital afloat. And obviously, we did take a look at quite a bit of applicants. And most definitely, Jacqueline Randall, she definitely understands the importance of the road and is looking forward to it. Now, mind you, there's quite a bit of others that actually applied as well. And I just want to say thank you, all of you, for applying. And if I may, I'm just going to state your names out loud. Gary Grimm, who applied. Samantha Joe. Destiny Herbolina. Dolores Coates. Trevor Farage. Jay Abs. And last but not least, Elizabeth Bailey. And I think every single one of these individuals brings something special, something great to the community of Blythe, to the city of Blythe. But I would like to say that ultimately we are very happy with choosing Jacqueline Randall, who was also born and raised in Blythe. And she's quite a bit of a success story. She's now the dean of Palo Verde College in Needles. She was also a previous Palo Verde Valley Times editor. She's definitely very passionate about her community. She worked on her PhD. She's very educated. She's got an Associate of Arts degree from Palo Verde College, a bachelor's degree in psychology from California State University, San Bernardino, and 2 master's degrees from Walden University. 1 in psychology, with an emphasis in social psychology, and 1 in public administration and social change. And she definitely has a vision of what's next needed to be taking place. And she was one that really stressed the importance of the strategic planning. And, not only did my staff and myself review these, but as well, we also had staff from our USS take a look. So I think ultimately we made a great choice. Although every single individual that did apply, I just want to say thank you to all of you for applying. And thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay. Supervisor Gutierrez and Supervisor Medina. Okay. Okay, so we now are on 3.46.
3.8.
Oh, 3.8. Okay.
So 3.8. Obviously, we have an ad hoc committee when it comes to our animal services, and Supervisor Ishan Gutierrez plays a role with that as well. And once again, so do my colleagues in supporting the efforts. And there's a lot to be said, but I'm going to just go ahead and ask staff to come on up and do their presentation. And by the way, I just received the Strategic Communications Plan 2026. That way all of you can take a look at it. I think you all received it. Take a look at that. And obviously it provides information as to how the outreach, the media efforts, social media are going to be utilized, as well as how we're going to put that into action. And there's so much more to be said, but I'm just going to turn it over to you.
Good morning, everybody. Madam Chair Spiegel, supervisors of the board. I'm Kimberly Youngberg, the Assistant Director for the Department of Animal Services. And we just want to, thank the ad hoc committee for coming together and supporting animal services, Supervisor Gutierrez, Supervisor Perez. We really appreciate all the efforts that have gone into this. And also to thank you for bringing this issue to light with abandoned and free roaming animals in Riverside County. It is a big issue. Every year, thousands of animals come into our shelters that, are socialized and for, obvious visibility, well fed and cared for by somebody somewhere at some point. And we just need, more support in getting these animals back home where they belong. But I'm going to step aside and introduce you to our Commander Leslie Hunikins and Lieutenant Rosa over here, who are the experts in our department when it comes to these efforts. So.
Good morning, Supervisors. We have a couple slides to share with you. Okay. Morning. So we have a couple slides to share with you about our efforts in dealing with abandoned animals as well as dogs at large. So abandoning an animal in Riverside County is a misdemeanor crime, punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine up to $1,000. It's also illegal to allow your dog to run at large. Dog owners can be issued citations resulting in fines. Dogs must be contained in yards, on property, or on a leash. They're required to be licensed, microchipped, and vaccinated for rabies. Having a collar with an ID tag or a microchip helps us get lost dogs home quickly. All officers carry microchip scanners and scan dogs when impounding them while in the field. If a chip is found, the officer will contact the owner and return the dog to them. Owners can be issued a citation for allowing their dogs to run at large. On March 11th, Animal Services conducted an enforcement sweep in response to complaints about dogs running at large in the North Shore area. Dogs also creating safety concerns for the children on their way to school. 17 animal control trucks and 2 side-by-sides fanned across the region in search of loose dogs. Officers educated the public about dogs running at large. 18 dogs were impounded, including 16 puppies. 2 dogs were returned to their owners, and 11 citations were issued. Members of our counselor team were also involved. They passed out collars and ID tags to 20 pet owners and took requests for 25 spay and neuter services. And with that, do you have any questions? Good.
Questions or thoughts?
No, thank you. This is a really good process that we're doing now, especially with Supervisor Perez and the board. In my district specifically, it's more in Cabazon that we see in many of the unincorporated areas, although it's throughout the other cities, but yeah, specifically Cabazon. So that's why I really wanted to work with Supervisor Perez on this. So thank you.
Appreciate that. And, this was obviously, it's been an issue ongoing. But I recently received quite a bit of phone calls about the fact that we have folks just abandoning pets, specifically dogs. And you'll find some in dumpsters, for example. We're just in the middle of nowhere. And that's just not right. And so we thought it was important to move forward with this type of policy. And so I want to say thank you for the good work you do, as well as what you did in North Shore and what you're doing throughout the county of Riverside. Just on another note, an item that keeps coming up as well is the issue of veterinarians. And I just want to state out loud that there's going to be a conversation taking place in the district, in the 4th district, regarding potential establishment of a new UC School of Veterinary Medicine. And that's going to be led by Janet Riley, Chair of the University of California Board of Regents, and S. Jack Hugh, incoming Chancellor of UC Riverside. And look forward to that conversation. That conversation is actually taking place, I believe, next week. So thank you so much for that.
I have a quick question. As you know, last meeting they brought up about the donkeys. Were those dogs also participating in, because if ears were cut off, it probably was the knife, I'm assuming.
So necropsy results, although they're not definitive as to whether it's a wild animal or a domestic dog, it's leaning toward its domestic dogs. And unfortunately, being in the career as long as I have, we do see this. Unfortunately, dogs will get a hold of the front of the animal, and the other dogs will get a hold of the hindquarters. So the ears are not being cut off. It's actually they're being grabbed by dogs is what we suspect are doing this. And it doesn't take a whole lot of force, unfortunately, to do the kind of damage you're seeing.
And so if caught, Those would be prosecuted also, the owner and the dogs, correct?
They can be for the at-large portion of it. There is some speculation, some rumor out there that somebody is bringing dogs to the area and using them to attack the donkeys. We haven't received any evidence, or no one's come forward to make a statement, clarifying that. But at this time, we're assuming it's stray dogs in the area.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so that passes 5-0. Now 3.46.
We have one public speaker online, Mariela Loera.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. My name is Mariela Loera. I'm speaking on behalf of Leadership Council for Justice and Accountability. Through the AB 617 program, the Community Emission Reduction Plan was developed in collaboration with the community and identified the need to pave mobile home parks which are the largest source of affordable housing in the region, but are also a significant source of air emissions, including particulate matter from the unpaved roads. Over the years, communities have also shared that paving these roads will do more than improve air quality, like including safer mobility. We greatly appreciate the county's role in stepping in to collaborate with the Air District to implement these projects, and we hope that as needed, it will also expand the MOU to include additional projects beyond the core paving project. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just very quickly, Madam Chair, the struggle that we've had on the area is not that we're not paving roads out there. As a matter of fact, we are in unincorporated areas. The struggle has been that there's always been a lack of funding or no funding whatsoever for privately owned areas like mobile home parks. And so that's the difference here. This is a one-time pot of money. Obviously, we're going to look for more if possible. But this one-time pot of money is going to go towards paving roads that are part of mobile home parks in which you have private owners. And that's always been a struggle. So it's not that we've never wanted to do it in the past. It's just there was just never any funding to go along with it. And fortunately, AQMD, over the course of advocacy, efforts, time, commitment, they've actually were able to provide and allocate this amount of funding now. There may be some more coming in the future, and obviously if there is, we'll definitely take a look at how we can continuously ensure that we pave those mobile home parks. Now, they're not only in the east end of the valley. We have them as well in other areas like Thousand Palms. We can't forget about other communities. I know that we have certain advocacy groups that tend to focus on one area, but we also have Thousand Palms, we also have Desert Edge, Indian Hills. We also have other areas throughout Banning, Beaumont, other parts of Riverside County. And so, it's important that we try to understand the equity issue here is very real as well, ensuring that we provide these type of efforts not only in one area, although I know it's an area that's very much in need, but these other areas are also very much in need. And they're also asking for this support too. It's just that they don't have an advocacy group that's consistently speaking up loud about these issues. They come and speak to me on a one-on-one basis, and that's how I know about that. But with that, I'm just happy to say that we do have this funding, and it'll be a while before we start doing this work, but it's going to be done. Okay, thank you.
And that passes 5-0. Okay. We are now moving on to a public hearing on 21.1, Riverside University Health System Public Health. Shh, don't jinx it.
Good Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. Tran, Mr. Van Wagenen, Kim Sarawatari, Director of Public Health. With this public hearing today, we are requesting to make some changes to our fee schedule. The majority of the changes that are proposed today are adding additional vendors of various vaccines that we offer through our mobile immunization clinics, and also some additional lab tests that our public health lab is now offering. Happy to answer any questions.
May I have any questions? Okay, seeing none, I will open the public hearing. Do we have any public comments?
There are no public speakers.
Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and refer to the board for vote.
Thank you.
Before you sit down, it passes 5-0. Okay, now we move on to 23.1. And this is a GPA, change of zone, plot and plan number. Okay, this is District 3.
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning.
And good morning, Supervisors. My name is Tim Wheeler. I am presenting for staff Agenda Item 23.1, which consists of General Plan Amendment 220007, Change of Zone 220028, and Plot Plan 220032. The project site is located in the 3rd District area and is located north of Acacia Street, east of Columbia Street, south of Florida Avenue, and west of Cornell Street. The general plan land use designation for the project site currently is a medium density residential. The proposal with the general plan amendment is to change it to community development, very high density residential. The surrounding zoning land use designations are to the north and east, medium density residential, to the south, medium high and medium density residential, and to the west, the city of Hemet, as well as medium and medium high density residential. The zoning classification for the project site. Currently, the project site has a zoning classification of 2 zones, the general residential R3 zone and the light agricultural 5-acre minimum A1 zone. The proposed general plan change of zone is for changing the zone to put the whole site to R3 zoning. The surrounding zoning classifications are to the north, the R3 zone, to the east, A1 zone, 5-acre minimum, to the south, the R3 and A1 zone, and to the west is the city of Hemet and R3 zoning. Land uses for the project site. Currently, the project site has a single-family residence on it. That will be removed in favor of the project, which is a 36-unit apartment complex within a gated community. The surrounding zoning classifications are to the north, east, and south, single-family residence, and to the west is the city of Hemet, which in there, and to the west is a 100-unit apartment complex. This exhibit here is the plot plan for the apartment complex. It does 1 parcel consisting of 2.4 acres and 4 apartment buildings at roughly 21,000 square feet. Again, totaling 36 apartment units in a gated community. And the project proposes 1, 2, and 3 bedroom floor plans distributed through the 4 buildings. It will have amenity areas for covered barbecues and picnic tables. And the on-site parking is 90 parking spaces. This is for residents, guests, and staff. This here is a breakdown of the parking area. Again, as stated, 90 parking spaces are required. As per Ordinance 348.1812, 86 parking spaces are required per ordinance, so they're providing 90. Just in front of the gated community area are 11 parking spaces on site in front of Columbia Street. Those spaces are for guests and staff. Inside the gated community is 79 parking spaces that has 37 covered parking stalls and 42 uncovered parking stalls. The project site will provide 5 ADA and 7 EV parking spaces exceeding Ordinance 348. This next slide is a rendering of what the project site would look like. The front building and the 2 side buildings are 2-story buildings. The building in the middle is a 3-story building. This is set within that area to be centrally located and to provide a less reduced visual impact from the front street of Columbia. This next slide is for pedestrian and gate and the sliding gate for vehicles. There's a pedestrian entrance with wrought iron steel and a tubular steel sliding gate. Fencing for the project site is wrought iron in the front at 6 feet in height, with on the sides and rear vinyl fencing, 6 feet in height. These are elevations. These are two-story elevations. The two-story buildings are roughly 24 feet in height. And the single three-story building is roughly 35 feet in height. This is the landscaping plan for the project. The conceptual landscaping plan will have a plant palette with ground cover, shrubs, and trees for shading. Noticing for the project site, this project was advertised in the press enterprise, as well as public hearing notices were mailed out to property owners within their 600-foot radius of the project site, as well as on-site noticing was provided 14 days prior to PC and Board of Supervisors. The City of Hemet, information about this project was sent to the City of Hemet for their review. No comments were received, as well as additional noticing for 20 days to the City of Hemet, and no noticing for or against the project was received. No public comments were received prior to Planning Commission. There was an inquiry by the Green Coalition of San Jacinto Valley. There was questions for both planning and building safety. Staff did respond to those, and no further inquiry was made. A mitigated negative deck was circulated for 20 days from January 20th to February 9th of this year. No comments or inquiries about the M&D were received prior to public hearing. At Planning Commission, there was some public comments that were received in regards to traffic and street parking. As stated, the project is adequately provided parking on site, and road improvements will be made along Columbia Street along the frontage of the project. This project was approved at Planning Commission with a 4-0 vote, and no comments have been received by anybody up to today's hearing. With that, staff recommends that the Board of Supervisors take the following actions. Adopt the mitigated negative declaration, tentatively approve the general plan amendment, tentatively approve the change of zone, and tentatively approve the plot plan 220032 based upon the findings and conclusions within the staff report and pending the final adoption of the general plan amendment GPA 220007 and the zoning ordinance change of zone CZ 220028 by the Board of Supervisors through a cycle adoption that will come before you in the next couple of weeks.
Don't leave those slides.
You bet.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
can I ask questions?
please.
I wanted those slides to stay.
No problem.
Yeah. So go back to just prior to your last slide, the two slides prior to that. The two slides prior to the recommendations.
Oh, pardon. You want the noticing or the landscaping, Supervisor?
The very last slide, which is recommendations.
Yes.
Go back two slides.
1, 2, maybe one.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess it was just the last one, then go forward one.
Certainly.
So I want to review this. So an inquiry from the Green Coalition of San Jacinto Valley. They were not lodging a complaint, they were just asking a question.
Just asking questions of staff.
And you provided a response to that.
Yes.
No public comments for or against the project have been received prior to Planning Commission.
That's
The
correct.
City of Hemet, which is just to the west, had no response.
No response, no objections, no favor, or
The 20 days, is that 20 business days or is that just 20 calendar days?
that's 20 calendar days.
Calendars, okay. Gated community,
Gated community.
they are required to improve some infrastructure.
Yes, they'll do some roadway improvements from front along Columbus Street, as
And
well as they'll have
install-
landscaping throughout the project site.
Install curb.
Mm-hmm.
Is there gutter as well? Curb and gutter?
Yeah, curb and gutter will be provided as part of the improvements for along the frontage.
Okay. All right, those are all the questions I have for now. Thanks.
Anybody else have any comments or questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Certainly.
With that, I will open the public hearing. Do we have any public comments?
There are no public speakers.
Okay, no public speakers, so we'll close the public hearing. And I'm going to go over to Rania.
Supervisor, we have the applicant present if they would like to make any statements.
You may blow it by talking now.
I don't have any questions for the applicant.
Who's the applicant? As soon as you said that, those folks started walking out, so I wasn't sure.
I was about to make a motion, but if you want to come and talk, You never know where that'll end up.
I'm aware.
I warned you.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, Supervisors. I just wanted to thank you for hearing this item this morning. I wanted to thank staff, Tim, Jose Luis, and the rest of the staff for all of their hard work. And that was basically it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing up. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Who hasn't voted yet?
I don't finish.
Oh, you're not done.
I'm not done. I was going to say something, and I don't want the vote tallied until after, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Okay. Thank you for the project that you're bringing forward, and I think it's a significant upgrade for that community. To get 36 apartment units gated is a great asset for that region. I had all of that region up until a couple years ago, but I still have this part south of Florida, and I love when we can bring something of this caliber to the community. So I want to thank you for that, and I'll move staff's recommendation. Those are my comments, Madam Chair.
I can push it now. I'm pushing his button, that's for sure. Okay. With that, we are now in public comments. How many do we have?
We have 8 total.
Okay, we are cutting off any more public comments. We have 8 speakers, and we'll begin with number 1.
Reverend Jane Quant, followed by Andre Morales.
Good morning, Board. I'm Reverend Jane Quant, and I'm also involved with the Sheriff Accountability Coalition. So I know you don't want to hear from me, but here I am. Apparently, the grand jury report has come out. We've got the results. It's public. And I'm aware of the fact that you just received it and haven't had a chance to really review it. However, I want to just do a little background here. In 2019, the state passed AB 57. They're trying to deal with getting money out of politics so much that limited contributions from organizations or individuals to $3,000 to campaigns. However, they also said that counties could set their own limits. And in the following year, you all voted, or it was created that a $20,000 limit would exist. However, there is a nullification clause that was added to that says that if a candidate will benefit from additional contributions, they may receive that, which basically just nullifies the limit. And since that time, forgive me, I'm not going to call out names because I'm not in that mood to be that mean today, but in 22, one supervisor received $90,000 from the Sheriff Association. Another one in 24 received $100,000 from the Sheriff Association. These are public records. The reason this is important to those of us who serve on the Sheriff Accountability Coalition is that in July, we came asking this group, who is responsible for supervising the sheriff and the department, to create, one of the supervisors brought a motion to simply create a committee to explore whether we needed to do more oversight, whether you needed to have some kind of more oversight involved. And the motion was brought, and it was not even passed, to create a committee to consider this, which is particularly horrible in light of the fact that we have received national coverage of how the death rate in our prisons, in our county jails, are just way too high. I have a friend in New York who said, "What the heck's going on in Riverside with the county jails?" And it's just suspicious, at the very least, that the Sheriff Association is making major donations to a couple of you, and you vote to not even create a committee to study this, to consider it. I hope you will read the grand jury's report very carefully and ponder the possibility of creating real limits on what supervisors can receive. I'm also not clear, by the way, on the limits that they name. Is that for per campaign or is that per year? Somebody might want to check on that, because maybe you're saying that this goes over 3 years. But all these 2 contributions I mentioned are clearly way above the suggested limit. Thank you.
Andre Morales, followed by Fidel Chagoya.
Good morning, board. My name is Andres Marquez, and I'm the founder of a nonprofit organization. It's called New Earth Creator.
What is it again?
New Earth Creator. And what we do is we deal with the facilitation of pollution and toxins that are in ecosystems or near human habitation. It's largely due to illegal dumping and homeless encampments. And we do have programs for both. So we do some outreach, and we do find a lot of times illegal dumping of animals as well. So I mean, I looked at the agenda and I seen this is where I'm supposed to be at, and we do have support from the community. Local haulers do join in. We have community events, and it's all about character building and participation and building the community. It's not just about the trash, but what we find is in the local jurisdictions that we're working in, it's hard to get agency support, where they can help us, because with better resources, even like fee waivers or anything of that nature to help us, because it's all on the community right now. And a lot of it is from the community, but we should all be helping each other. And a lot of people rely on agencies, but the thing is that they've expressed to us, as well as Desert Valley Disposal, that it's stressing them in manpower, and they don't have the funding available. So we rely on community and ourselves to try to fundraise, ask for donations, and get this all done. But one of the biggest aspects that will help out a lot and help scale operations and get more community involvement is continuing the work. And for that, fee waivers,
Are you a business or a nonprofit?
Oh, a 501c3 nonprofit organization out in Coachella Valley. We focus mostly, because of the type of dealings we deal with, it's usually economically challenged areas like Desert Hot Springs and Thousand Palms, along Dillon. So that's where our work really leads us, And of course, you can't ask the public for too much because they are economically challenged as well, But we try our best, and we get out there and we handle as much as we can, So we're just kind of here seeing if there's any resources available that maybe you guys would like to provide for us, or just participation. We just like to scale the operation so we can make a good impact,
I need more clarification on exactly what it is that you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish, if you don't mind.
Okay, so the simple point is just about basically pollution and trash intervention at the surface level, but there's also the ecosystem aspect and wildlife corridors and how it relates to our aquifer. So I call it the aquifer interface ecology, and how pollution can make its way to the aquifer in watersheds and different aspects. And in simplest forms, it's picking up trash and noting also vegetation and soil structures, to see where susceptible zones are, so that we can start prioritizing some sites. It's always going to be near waterways and things, where in rain events that they become transportation corridors and they move pollutant.
And who does that work?
I do.
By yourself, or
myself, and I got Tammy back there. But we don't have no employees per se, but we do have community involvement. So the last cleanup we had was on the 14th, and 20 participants showed up. We also have outreach where we help encampments clean their own areas. We provide the transportation, the safety, food, water, different supplies that we need without oversupplying, because we don't want to add to that. But it's about them taking more initiative in cleaning up their own areas if they have proper facilitation. And it helps as well, because if they need to enter a structured environment, we kind of break that barrier for them sometimes not wanting help. And they have animals, and we tell them, wait, we can facilitate your animals, because a lot of times that's holding them back. But it's about prepping them into a structured program as well. So that's what we're finding. So we just started that program, 8-week cycles. And we've already started the work, and starting the work is what led us into the program, So, and we see good progress, and we see participation. We go there now, and they have trash cans all lined up, ready to be dumped. So they are willing, because before they were burning it and burying it, and it's not good, So if we can prevent that, so trash just leads us to helping all kinds of things: wildlife, land, soil, water, and people.
Thank you.
Supervisor Chris?
Yeah, I think where you're going with this, and I do appreciate what you're trying to do. Staff, I'm going to ask staff to come downstairs. I know I had staff here earlier, but someone will come down.
Yeah.
And that way we can get your information, you get our information. I'd like to sit down with you, introduce you maybe to a few groups back home. You say you're in the 4th District, right? You're in the Desert Hot Springs area?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'd like to introduce you to a few folks out there, different organizations that could probably be helpful, that you can be helpful to them. And I think it's intriguing. I'm interested. We have done some work, but obviously there's more work to be done. So I just want to say thank you for coming out here.
Yeah, thank you for coming down and sharing.
Yeah, we just, we realize that we have to partnership with not just community, but local agencies and other organizations. And because it's not, a lot of problems won't be solved by one individual, a little group of individuals. It's really going to be a collective, So.
Good. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for someone on staff. They'll be coming in right now. Yeah, okay, cool.
Fidel Chagoya, followed by Richard Giles.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Fidel Chagoya, and I'm with Riverside, All of Us or None. I'm here today because I remain deeply concerned about the ongoing concentration of power and control associated with Sheriff Chad Bianco. It is alarming that the sheriff appears to hold significant influence over 4 out of 5 of the elected members of this board. We have seen this dynamic before. For example, during the July 29, 2025 board meeting, community members called for the establishment of an ad hoc civilian oversight committee to be established within Riverside County Sheriff's Department. Despite the clear public interest, 4 out of 5 supervisors declined to move that proposal forward. Now we are facing another serious issue with allegations that the sheriff has misused county resources in relation to claims of election fraud involving 650,000 ballots. These concerns important questions about accountability and the responsible use of taxpayer dollars. For these reasons, I urge the board to support a thorough and independent investigation to any potential misuse of public resources. Regardless of position of authority, accountability must apply to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard Giles, followed by Nathan Kemp.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors and other staff here. My name is Richard Giles. I'm a community member who's very deeply concerned about the concerns about the ballot initiatives and protecting voters of our community. And issues that strike at the core, this strikes at the core of our public, which is deeply concerning. Let me answer this and make this very clear, that democracy depends on transparency and being in trust. So accountability must be conducted. Any instance of ballot fraud, whether real or perceived, must be taken seriously and investigated with integrity. Even appearance of wrongdoing can erode confidence and discourage participation. At the same time, the responsibility is on y'all to make sure that our public funds are allocated accordingly instead of where they need to be, and not to the Sheriff's Department. Thank you.
Nathan Kemp, followed by Eddie.
Good morning, Chair and fellow supervisors. My name is Nathan Kemp. I'm the Operations Director at Starver Strong. I'm also a member of the Riverside Sheriff Accountability Coalition. Today I'm dressed in white to symbolize the integrity of the voters, and blue in the hope that you will use your power as a shield to protect the voters. The registrar has already established safeguards and chain of custody procedures. The issue is that now that those ballots are in the hands of a special master, No clear direction for safeguards have been given to the special master. This creates risk to voter confidence and ballot security. I call on you to direct the registrar to provide the special master with the county's existing ballot handling and chain of custody safeguards. I also charge you to require public updates on who is accessing the ballots and how they're being handled. I also request that you approve any additional staffing requests by the registrar to maintain ballot handling standard procedures. Voters deserve to know that their ballots are being handled properly. Supervisor Medina made a statement showing confidence in the registrar of voters, and no one else joined him. Do you guys have confidence in the registrar of voters? If so, join him. You have the authority to protect the voters, the ballots, and their integrity. Please act now.
Eddie will be followed by Scott McGregor.
Cranberries. Good morning, Ms. Spiegel. Although unhinged Eddie is so much more gratifying. I was talking to Jamie Foxx out there in the lobby, and he's, 2 weeks ago, he's wondering, like, same thing everybody else is wondering, what are you doing? Why can't you just give us a straight answer? So something like this. I was watching Titanic the other day with Elon Musk and his friends, and one of them said, hey, if only those guys in the crow's nest would have relayed down to the captain, hey, drunk, if you don't change course, we're going to crash into that iceberg. And then I responded, because everybody's funny, I responded, well, that boat's going to sink anyways, because the Rothschilds put a bomb in it. And everybody thought that was funny, and I'm like, oh my God. So I kept going with it, and I'm like, if only somebody would have told them they're going to hijack those planes and crash them into that building, we could have avoided all this. And then I'm like, well, those buildings were always going to come down because the Rothschilds put a bomb in it. And everybody's, oh my God, Eddie, that's so dark. Why are you bringing up old stuff? And I'm like, okay, something more recent. If only somebody would have gone into that LA County Supervisors meeting and said, hey, our reservoirs are empty and they're starting to light fires. Maybe we could have avoided all this. But then wherever the chief is, he's probably thinking the same thing I am. Those fires were deliberately set. Palisades was always going to burn. All the water in the world isn't going to put that fire out. Huh, Chief, you're not going to anchor, flank, and pinch that one. The reservoir is a distraction. So I come in here and I'm like, hey, we've got a problem with these kids and these women. And I need you guys to do something about it. But that's the point. The people that were supposed to do something about it are in on it. It's them. It was deliberate. And that's the problem. So, for your straight answer, it is in my opinion and in my experience that due to the actions and inactions of both this board, Don Sharp back there, quite possibly the DA, you've curated an environment in which atrocities like that which were committed against the Turpin children have not only continued, but have flourished. See, that's the common denominator between me, my students, Turpin kids, Noah McIntosh, whoever else we don't know about, is we all trusted the system. And that's where I'm at in the system. Now it's coming after me for bringing this information to you. You just have to look. Anyways, have a good day, Ms. Spiegel.
Scott McGregor, followed by Greg Langworthy, and these last three are online, our last three speakers.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Madam Chairman and members of the board. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to the board this morning. My name is Scott McGregor. I'm a California real estate broker, and I've been in the timeshare and condominium management business for more than 40 years. I'm currently a vice president of HPP Property Services, which provides management and restructuring services to common interest communities across the United States. To date, our firm has returned more than 30 blighted, insolvent properties to vibrant real estate communities, producing property taxes and sales and use revenues for the counties in which they reside. There are more than 50 timeshare properties in Riverside County, most of them developed between 1978 and 1990. These properties represent more than 100,000 individually assessed timeshare tax parcels, a large percentage of which are tax defaulted. We currently represent 2 properties in Riverside County, representing just more than 2,000 taxpayers. Many or most of these timeshare communities are insolvent, and many constitute a blight on the communities in which they reside. By and large, the owners are not paying property taxes, they're not paying maintenance fees to their associations, and so the properties are not being improved or repaired, and they are impairing the values of the properties around them. I'm here today to ask the board to continue to work with the Office of the Treasurer and Tax Collector to bring the timeshare interest within these Riverside County properties to a future tax sale at a price that will garner competitive bidding for them. If they are not purchased at the statutory minimum price necessary to redeem, which means under the statute, the amount of defaulted taxes plus delinquent penalties and costs, plus redemption penalties and a redemption fee, the county is given some options. Under Section 3698.5C, such parcels may be reoffered with the approval of the Board of Supervisors at a minimum price the tax collector deems appropriate in the circumstances. In most or all cases relating to timeshares, the redemption amount is greater than the real estate value associated with those interests. Timeshares are sold as a fraction of a condominium or equivalent, with anywhere from 52 to 104 interests per condominium. With redemption values of $2,000 per interval or more, there is no economic incentive for anyone to purchase them.
Greg Langworthy, followed by Lisa Matus.
Callers on the line, just hit *6 on your phone to unmute yourself. Thank you.
Okay. So, yep, this is Greg Langworthy. Thank you for allowing me opportunity to speak. Just want to commend the whole county for the work that you're doing and simply asking the question, is our election system in Riverside County counting votes accurately? The predicate for this has been just the questions that we've raised in the 2024 election and then in the Prop 50 election about the discrepancy between the number of ballots cast and the number of votes counted. And we found that discrepancy in 2 audits, 2024 and the Prop 50, supported by the evidence of the ROV's own election records. The great thing about this is I think everyone in our county has to be commended. The ROV, because they provided good records for us, clear records that we could do the audit. The supervisors, because they've been listening, asking good questions. The sheriff, because he's doing what is common sense. Let's just see how many ballots there were in the Prop 50 election, and that will settle the question, were there 611,000 ballots or 657,000 ballots? These are all very responsible actions. Even the Attorney General asking the question, well, what's the evidence for this? What's the predicate? And that's why we did all the work with getting the ballot statements to provide that evidence. So this wasn't just a suspicion, but there is a discrepancy, and what can we attribute it to? That's the job of the sheriff. So all this, I think, is a star on Riverside County. You're all doing your due diligence. You've listened to the citizens, taken steps to resolve the issue. And what's the goal? That we have confidence that the people that we elected really are there with our consent, which is in everybody's interest. Everybody is interested in having a fair, accurate, transparent election system in our state, our county, our country. And I think our county in particular is handling this the way it should be handled. And so I want to commend you all for the work you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lisa's the last one?
Yes, Lisa
Thank you.
will be our last speaker.
Supervisors, good morning. My name is Lisa Matus. I'm here in support of Supervisor Medina and his press statement regarding the March 20, 2026 election fraud investigation press conference by Chad Bianco. That press conference, advertised on the sheriff's official website, involved public resources and personnel, but it didn't provide no credible evidence of election fraud. Supervisor Medina rightfully raised concerns about the misuse of county resources for political purposes, and yet he appears to be the only member on this board willing to speak up. And I ask you, why has the rest of this board remained silent? Silence in a moment like this is a choice, and it undermines public trust. You were elected to provide oversight of powerful departments, including the sheriff's office, not to look the other way, not to stay quiet, and not to act only when it's politically convenient. Supervisor Medina did his job, and the rest of the board has not. And this is more than a press statement. It is a call to action. It raises serious concerns about public resources, the handling of over 650 ballots, and the integrity of our institutions. We've seen how this pattern before on July 29th, when this board failed to act on oversight after receiving support from the Riverside Sheriff's Association, which opposed it. This is unacceptable. The people of Riverside County are paying attention. And let me be clear, when I am on this board, silence will not be an option. Accountability will. Thank you.
Okay. I would love to respond, but it's not appropriate, so I won't. You're welcome, Min. Okay, we are now at board member comments. Starting with Supervisor Washington.
Thank you, ma'am. Last Thursday, I had the opportunity to attend Probation Department's annual employee recognition ceremony alongside our chair, Supervisor Spiegel. It was an incredible event highlighting the outstanding work being done throughout the county. I was proud to hear about the many accomplishments of the dedicated men and women of this department. Congratulations to all at the event. And I just want to add, just like the comments that were made about our social workers, oftentimes the work of our probation department goes unheralded because often it is quiet work that isn't seen by the public. Certainly at the city level, they don't have probation departments. That's a county function, and it is why I enjoy this job so much, because we are changing lives and raising the quality of life of communities. On Friday, my team and I attended the Rotary Club of Menifee's Charity Gala. It was a wonderful evening supporting their Rotary Youth Leadership Retreat and the many impactful programs they host throughout the year. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Supervisor Medina.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and if I could have the slides, please. On March 6th, I attended Latina History Day, a part of HOPE in Los Angeles. Next slide. On March 8th, I attended the Court of Honor Eagle Scout Award for Owen Russell. Next slide. On March 12th, I attended the Jurupa Valley Chamber of Commerce networking event in Jurupa Valley. Next slide. On March 14th, I attended the Riverside Sunrise Rotary Foundation annual Black Tie Bingo. Next slide. And on Friday, March 20th, I hosted the yearly Women of Distinction celebration, where I recognize 11 outstanding women in Supervisorial District 1. And with that, that's the end of my slides, but not the end of my comments. We can take the slides off. Yesterday, I released a lengthy press release where I was commenting on the March 20th sheriff's press conference of last Friday. And I said in that press release that I believe it is a misuse of public funds, and I have now referred this to our county's Fraud, Waste, and Abuse Committee. To me, it is mind-boggling where we are today. It is mind-boggling that our Riverside County Sheriff has taken over 500,000 ballots from the registrar of voters, has them at some unrevealed location, is defying both the Secretary of State and the Attorney General, and says that he's going to continue to count ballots. I ask a simple question: how long and how much will that take to do? How much money, how much time, how much use of our county employees, sheriff deputies will that take? But I am reminded that it is not just money and resources that is important. More important than the money and resources is our faith, reliance on a system that allows everyday life to happen. All those events that we attend, students at school, when people go to church, synagogue, or mosque, when they worship God in the way that they feel right, all of those things of everyday life are predicated on the freedoms that we have in this country. Freedoms that we have in this country because of the democracy that we enjoy, the democracy that we've enjoyed for 250 years, come July 4th. But I really think that what we are seeing here in Riverside County with our sheriff and the attack is an attack on that democracy. There is nothing more sacred than voting. I've said before that people in this country have fought for the right to vote over and over again. Whether it was women in the suffrage movement, African Americans in the South during the civil rights movement, young people in the 1960s and 70s fighting for the right to vote. The right to vote is sacred. It is the basis of our democracy. And to tamper with that system, which is, I think, what's going on here in Riverside, it is no surprise, it is no wonder that so much attention is being given right now, yesterday, the day before, on Riverside and on the Riverside County Sheriff. This is, I think, just the beginning. There will be actions in court. There will be more scrutiny given to what's going on here in Riverside County. Many on different sides of the political spectrum have said how wrong this is. And again, mind-boggling to me how we've gotten here. We all heard the same evidence. None of us saw any wrongdoing, but still, Riverside County Sheriff, for his own political reasons, chose to take those ballots from the registrar of voters. Thank you.
Supervisor Gutierrez.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. I do have my slides as well. And then I also have a memorial when we get to the memorial. So I also was at the Riverside County Probation Employee Recognition with Supervisor Spiegel and also Supervisor Washington. Very, very nice event. I want to thank Chief Wright and his entire executive team that's up here in this picture for really putting on a really nice event for the staff. You know, various departments do these events, but probation, they did a really great event as well, and they recognized many of the probation officers of the year, and not only them, but also their administrative support staff too. And I think that's important because they wouldn't be able to do their work without the administrative support staff. So anyhow, it was a night, or actually a day. I think it was in the daytime, where we celebrated our employees for their great work. Next slide, please. I also attended 2 different meet and greet. Actually, it's a little bit more, but we'll probably bring those at the next meeting. One was at Highland Springs HOA, and this is in Cherry Valley near Beaumont. Very nice event, great turnout there. Really nice HOA, by the way. And then I also attended the Solera HOA in Beaumont. That was my second time going to theirs, and it was a great turnout there. And what we did is, on all of these, we bring the departments with us, and they get to provide resources to many of the seniors at these HOAs. In the past 3 years, we've been keeping a tally. We've attended 57 of these HOAs in just 3 years. So people really like that when we come out to their area, and then the departments really like to be there with the residents. Next slide. We also had our song concert. If you recall, this is a program where we are taking at-risk youth from anywhere in the 5th District and providing them an opportunity with music and arts taught by celebrities. And it's a program that's run by the Andy Vargas Foundation that we give money to. And the Andy Vargas Foundation gives them these classes, and then at the end, they'll do a performance. So they actually did their performance. And by the way, Andy Vargas is the lead singer of Carlos Santana. He's the one that did the Maria Maria song. Okay, so that's him. And I'm not going to sing it, but no. But anyway, so really nice guy, and it was really great. And the kids just, wow, they were really amazing, the way they performed and how they worked on it. And many of them wrote their own songs, so they learned how to write music. And whether it was singing, playing the guitar, drums, it was really, really great to see these kids bringing music and arts in the 5th District. And I want to give a shout out to Heidi Marshall and the entire HWS team that was there, and many county staff, and also my D5 team that was there as well. Okay, next slide. I think that was it, but yeah, that was it.
Supervisor Gutierrez, I want to apologize to you. I failed to mention that you were at the probation event.
Oh.
I was reading from my comments, and I know you were there because I was sitting a couple seats over from you. So again, accept my apology.
No worries.
And I didn't get a picture with you because I was rushing out to get to my grandson's baseball game.
No worries.
So again, next time I'll be more attentive. Thank you.
Mr. Perez, you have no comments? Nope. Okay, goodbye. Gosh, I'm going to narrow this down because I have tons of stuff. First thing I want to say is that you have an opportunity to get the new Budget 101. This is explaining the county budget, the 2026 edition of the Budget 101. The County Budget Explained gives a clear, accessible look at where county revenue comes from and which public services those funds support. More than 40 county departments provide services ranging from healthcare and housing to law enforcement and public works, all of which depend on funding from locally generated property taxes and state and federal sources. Whether you're new to learning about county government or have engaged for a while, the guide is designed to help you see the full picture. And this can be found on RivCo, RivCo.org/budget. I still look at it and learn, and this is my 8th year going into this, so there's a lot of information. Well done. Now we're going to have follow-up community meetings. Each district will have one. You'll have to contact your supervisor's office. My district will be having theirs on April 7th in Corona, so I'm sure my colleagues have those set, and those will be coming out, so check with your district office. You'll also have some input on some of the priorities when we are looking at the budget this year as to where funds are directed. Just a note is on all of the other elected 5 offices, that's the county assessor, auditor, sheriff, DA, and tax collector. Those 5 positions, we have no administrative oversight. We don't tell them what to do. We just have oversight over the budget on how much they get. So when we get comments from constituents wanting us to say or do something for the sheriff and DA or auditor or tax collector around tax time, those are not things that we have the position to do. You do that when you vote for them or don't vote for them. So just a note for that one. So the budget is not punitive in that sense. We just work with the dollars and services that we offer. And it's hard to believe it's spring. I think we missed spring and we're in summer. Spring started last Friday, right? So it's been a hot one already. But with that, we usually do Relay for Life. This is always the 3rd weekend in May. And I've said this before, is that Relay for Life has had different ones throughout the cities in the county, but we are down to 1 city. So the county is partnered. So it's Riverside County Corona Relay for Life. That will be May 16th, 17th. If you're interested, please contact my office. We are spearheading it. But I do have to say I'm very excited that we have other departments that have stepped up. The first one to step up is there's going to be an EO team. I'm excited about that. We have different levels of support, and the flood department will be doing our porta potties, an important element. TLMA is doing our stage.
Oh, okay.
CAL FIRE's doing a team or partnering with us, and Veteran Services, they're bringing the veterans for the Hero Walk and also being part of our team. So it's really exciting that we have a lot of movement. This is the first year that we're officially partnering, and we did last year for just my office, and so I said, let's get the whole county involved, and of course next year bigger and better things will happen, and we'll start earlier. So anyway, again, May 16th, 17th, Tori in my office is our person who, if you have any specific questions, she can certainly direct you to where to go and how to get involved. Many things that happened this week. I talked about them last week, so I don't want to bring them up again. I was telling you about they're going to be happening. If you want to join us, they've all happened. One of the most important ones that happened last night was we had a Veterans Town Hall. It was incredibly prepared, attended, and very good in resources. We got to talk to a lot of veterans. They had some issues that we were able to direct them in some resolutions. Just was well done, and I just am really, really proud of that one. We had, thank you for including me, Supervisor Medina, on the Women of Distinction. It was very well done. I'm very envious, but I told my staff I'd love to do one, but we have a women's conference that we do that's countywide on September 29th, so you can mark your calendar, anybody who's interested, the women's conference. It's Women's Leadership Conference, September 29th. It will be Crossroads Church in Corona. So I think that's too much on my plate to do anything else for my staff. And with that, the fatherhood event with RivCo and DCSS. Oh, it was so awesome. We partnered with YMCA. We involved families, looked at fathers, but a lot of families came. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible, and something that I certainly encourage. Was it your district that did, or somebody just did one already?
Last year.
It's a very good benefit for your constituents to do something like that. So anyway, with that, I will end my remarks, and we will move on to executive office. I already talked about the budget for you. Okay, memorials.
Oh, I have one.
Anybody else other than Supervisor Gutierrez? No? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. And this one's very, I believe, very personal to us as a county family. This relates to someone by the name of Rod Jerome Duthoy, who is basically Brooke's father. Brooke Federico, who is our PIO, and she just does an amazing job. Unfortunately, she lost her father, and he was a Banning resident of 20 years. And so I'd just like to take a moment in memory of Rod to close this meeting in his memory. Rod was born in Marshall, Minnesota on April 12, 1951. He grew up as the youngest of 5 brothers in a lively home filled with sports and fishing. He graduated high school in 1969, just as the world was changing, and at 19, he followed family to California, embracing a new chapter as Rod, a name that reflected his spirit and warmth. By age 21, Rod was married, working in the printing industry, and becoming a dedicated father. Basketball was more than a game to Rod. It was the heartbeat of his family. He coached, mentored, and led youth leagues, always known for his humor and easygoing nature. His career in printing spanned decades and locations, including leadership roles in the Orange County Litho Club before retiring in 2012. In 2007, Rod married Barbara Williams, and together they built a loving home in Banning, California, filled with friends, laughter, and long walks with dogs. Rod was a dedicated referee until he passed away, bringing his lively spirit to every basketball court he stepped on. Above all, he was a loving husband, proud father, and cherished grandfather. On March 15, 2026, Rod unfortunately passed away after a long illness, leaving behind a legacy of love, laughter, and connection. He is survived by Barbara, his children Cody and Elizabeth, Brooke, who's part of our county family, and Ryan Federico, as well as 5 beautiful grandchildren, Isabella, Emma, Dominic, Vincenzo, and then Azalea. Rod's life was a journey of movement and meaning, and his memory will echo in every bounce of basketball and every shared smile. Let us remember as we close this board meeting by carrying forward his spirit of humor and joy.
Thank you for sharing. And Brooke, I think we together will send our condolences. Very hard. I'm going to include Robert Michael Manna. It is with profound sadness with the passing of Robert Michael Manna, who left the world on March 2nd, 2026, at the age of 78. Born in Brooklyn, New York, he lived a life dedicated to service and learning. He devoted his career to education as a technology specialist, making significant contributions in advancing technology in educational settings. Residing in Corona, California, he extended his passion for building connections and supporting others into the life of volunteerism, generously giving his time and energy to causes honored service, community, and country. A proud veteran and lifelong patriot, he was an active and devoted member of the American Legion, where he served as part of both the Honor Guard and Color Guard. Through his role, he helped pay tribute to fallen service members with dignity and respect. One of the highlights of his life was participating in the Honor Flight mission, a journey that allowed him to honor the nation's heroes and reconnect with the spirit of camaraderie that defined his years of service. Above all, Robert's deep sense of commitment extended to his family and friends, whose love and companionship remained the foundation of his life. Robert's love of motorcycle was deeply intertwined with his sense of purpose and service. As a proud member of the Patriot Guard Riders, he joined fellow veterans and riders in honoring fallen heroes and supporting their families, taking great pride in offering respect and remembrance from the seat of his motorcycle. Riding brought him not only freedom and joy, but also connection to his fellow riders, his country, and the open road he loved so deeply. He is survived by his wife, Gail of Parker, her children, Shannon, Justin, and Sasha, grandchildren, Kira, Blake, Jamie, Jeremy, Marcus, and Liliana, who stand as a testament to the love and partnership they shared throughout their lives together. And anyway, his legacy will endure in the hearts of those who are privileged to know him. And with that, Mr. Min?
Thank you, Chair. The board has need to meet in closed session today for the items listed at the bottom of the agenda. We are dropping item 26D as in David, so no labor negotiation today. And there's no reportable action today either. Thank you.
Can you two please vote on the memorial? So it is now 11:20. Let's meet up there at 11:40. Okay. And this meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.